Among the victims of the marathon bombing, a couple from Middletown.
Yeah, tonight they tell us firsthand what happened to them on that awful day. News 8's Bob Wilson live in Hartford tonight with their story. Bob?
Yeah, Amy and Mike were up in Boston at the marathon celebrating Amy's one-year successful stem cell transplant. She was celebrating life when all of a sudden the bombs went off.
We were up right next to that mailbox with many other people, very, very crowded, just trying to get a peek at the runners and see if we can see our friends walking by.
Mike and Amy Garofalo and their two sons were eating at the Forum restaurant at the finish line. The restaurant across the street from where the surveillance cameras caught two bombing suspects and the location of the second bomb.
I was still inside when the first explosion happened, and it shook the building.
I said, why don't we go back in? I don't think this is good. And that's the last thing I remember.
He was bleeding. I mean, he was just bleeding everywhere. And it was just panic and chaos and smoke everywhere and glass everywhere and screaming.
I've got to really hand it to my 16-year-old son. He was calm. He scooped her up before I even had a chance to realize what was happening, and then came and got me.
Mike and Amy were cut in the face, in the head, and the hands by shrapnel and flying debris. After seeing that his wife and kids were safe, Mike went back to help.
The people that kind of knew what to do in an emergency situation knew that they needed ice and towels and were yelling for that, and he heard and went behind the bar and got buckets of ice and to try to preserve some limbs.
This one guy that was in front of me working on a gentleman with a missing leg, he probably saved that guy. He had a tourniquet on that leg very fast. So that was amazing to see. The police were told that somebody's walking around with a pretty nasty head wound, and they came and got me and said, you need to go to the hospital. Overall, being so thankful that things could have been so much worse. We were so close and just so lucky.
Mike says you have to live every day to the fullest, and they are doing that in Middletown. I'm Bob Wilson reporting live in Hartford, News 8.